Here we are, Real Recovery Talk. I am your host, Tom Conrad. In today's episode, we've got Benjamin B.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Ben.
That sounded weird, didn't it?
A little bit.
All right.
We also have Tristan. What up, Tristan?
What's up? Good to be here.
How you doing?
Can't complain. I'm grateful to be back at the center, you know?
Yeah, hell
Brings
yeah.
back some good memories.
Good. Hey, listen, first things first. Thank you for tuning in on the podcast app, whichever one that you choose to use, and thank you for watching on YouTube. And in the end, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you could always reach us, Tom at realrecoverytalk.com and Ben at realrecoverytalk.com. And ultimately, we want to help you turn your mess into your message. Right, Ben?
That is correct. And if you think about turn your mess into your message, something Tristan just said, glad to be back at the center. It brings back some good memories. Because I'm pretty sure when he was here, he was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So this sucks is now good memories. Is that a mess to message?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We're going to get into all that. And, man, all right. So let me do a brief, if you don't mind, a brief introduction.
Yeah, of course.
And let me say hi to your mom,
What's
Bridget.
up, Mom?
Hello,
Mom?
hello, Bridget.
I made it, Mom.
You made it. He's arrived. I told you this would happen. I just want to give a quick backstory. I spoke, you know what? Hang on one second. Ben, you do a little bit of talking, if you don't mind.
Talk about what, man? You put me on the spot here. What, you're doing some research?
I want to see.
Getting the facts, the dates.
Getting the text message up.
He's doing like Joe Rogan does. Here, pull this up, pull that up.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
My sources tell me.
So this is pretty fascinating. I got the very first email from your mom sometime in September of last year. So it's been almost 1 year.
Wow.
And then I ended up texting her because I believe she sent the email and gave me her phone number. And then so I ended up texting her on September 29th of last year. And then she said, yes, thank you. I'm at my daughter's field hockey game. Can we chat around 10 o'clock? I said, sure thing. Are you Eastern time? Yes, New Jersey. So actually any time after 10 a.m. is good for me. And that was when things started. I remember speaking to her and she was pretty distraught, you know, with the whole overall situation, you know. And I believe, and we're going to go into details on this. I believe that the first time we spoke, you were at a facility and you were getting to transition out of that facility and go into or move back home to New Jersey and go work somewhere.
This was when I was in treatment in Jersey? Or
Where did you go to treatment?
down here?
No, not down here, up there.
I went to...
Pull that mic closer to
okay.
you.
I went to Recovery Centers of America.
Right.
RCA, like twice. The second time I got out, the first time I got out, I went to a place called Freedom House, which is like an IOP. Go home, you know. And then the second time I got out, I went to a place called Soba.
Yes, I remember. Yeah. Yep.
And then I got out of there, you know, jumped right back into what I was doing before, you know.
So when did you come to us? Do you remember?
7 months ago.
Do you remember the date by chance or no?
So let me see. My sober date is January 25th. So I did 21 days in detox res, and then I came here. So like late February, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and that would make sense. So, and where I'm going with this is that, you know, when your mom first reached out to me, it was you were going to that place, Soba or something or another, or you were there, and then you ended up, I believe, moving back home with her, and so we were having because she found us via the podcast, right? And we end up having a conversation about, you know, kind of what your next steps looked like.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember saying that, it's not a very good plan, but it's a plan that has to be, I suppose, figured out. I said, Tristan, going back to your house, and where were you working? Where did you?
I was a little wire technician, a place called Myers.
Yes.
Emergency power systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you go back to that job when you moved home?
Well, no, I got that job when I moved home. I started going to school, tech school.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania, actually, in Allentown, and then after like a month of school, I got the job. Yeah. And I was using all during that time. So
after you moved home, after SOBA, you started using again.
Yeah, I would say maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I, white knuckled it.
Yeah, because I was following up with your mom. Anyways, so we have this conversation, and I told her, I said, let's have a plan put in place for when this does go sideways. Because, Ben and I have been doing this for a long time. And generally speaking, the plan that was put in place, I knew, and I think she knew too, it probably wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. But you got to do what you got to do. It was something that it had to work its way through. So we ended up coming up with this plan, and I remember, man, this is kind of crazy.
I remember Tom telling me about this because it was literally Tom was like, here's the plan for when this plan that they set up doesn't work. Mm-hmm. It was so obvious it wasn't going to work out. Yeah. So Tom said, it's part of the process.
Yeah, and I know as the listeners, you're probably trying to track here, but I need you to stay focused. I text her on October 10th and I said, hey, just wanted to follow up, see how things are going with Tristan. Sorry, busy day. Comes home on 10/22. So we'll see how things go. And then she texted me, Sherry was awesome. Just listened to the episode. Thank you. And then on October 24th, hey, how's everything going with Tristan? Well, he went to a meeting last night and no one showed up. It's in our neighboring town. He was frustrated. Today he's going back to visit his roommate and pick up some things he forgot there at SOBA. And I said, how much clean time does he have? 4 months. And then she texted me November 22nd. Is this tracking for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far.
November 22nd. Hi, Tom. All going good up here in New Jersey so far. Thanks for your call. Have a great Thanksgiving. December 13th. Just another check-in, so on and so forth. So we get to January 23rd. Everything is going good up to this point. At least so she thinks.
Yeah.
January 23rd at 4 a.m. Tom, I'm sorry I'm texting so early. Tristan overdosed around 1 a.m. We're in the emergency with him now. Once he gets the okay to leave, I want to get him to your facility, please. I will call you as soon as I find out if he will make it out of this. I was just going to call you today to tell you he was doing great. He was taking a friend to a meeting last night, a friend he used to get high with. Not sure what happened. And I woke up to that, and I'm like, holy shit. And I can see the tears welling up in your eyes right now. Yeah. And she texts me back, and so we started texting. She says he's in bad shape, being transferred to a hospital right now. And so we stay in contact. January 24th. Sorry I didn't get to chat with you. Tristan is responding well to medication, and they are hoping he will have a breathing tube removed tomorrow. I will definitely call once he is waking up and able to communicate. And then fast forward, and we can go through all, we get the gist.
Have you ever heard the timeline breakdown like that?
No.
If you're watching on YouTube, it's probably not zoomed in enough, maybe, but dude, Tom just said, you can see your eyes starting to water. This is
And I wasn't planning on doing this.
No,
I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. It's good to remember, you know?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's powerful is what I was getting at. Like, I'm not that I like seeing people cry.
No, yeah.
However, like,
these are good tears.
The reality of this is what the situation was. Look at what mom went through. Look what you went through. It's it's got some depth and weight to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't realize she was like texting you that whole time too.
Yeah.
Like it was like I wasn't working a program. I wasn't doing anything for myself. You know, that was good. So it was kind of like it's bound to happen in a sense, you know? And it's just crazy that it did, you know? It's not crazy. It's like that it did happen is
divine intervention, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, so you end up coming out of you were in the coma for how long?
I'm not sure, honestly. I think like a couple days.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And lo and behold, what ultimately happened is we ended up, you know, like I had told her months ago, let's have this plan put in place for when this doesn't work out. And boom, the plan, like as soon as we knew that you were medically stable, we put the plan in place. So where did you go first before you came here?
Intrepid. Detox.
That's right. Yeah. Intrepid Detox.
I looked it up. He got to us February 21st.
February 21st. So that would have been
23.
Okay, so I got there February 1st then, something like that.
Because you were there for like a month, probably.
21 days.
You did a full detox residential. I mean, you were not in a good place medically.
Yeah.
You know, like Tom just mentioned, you had the breathing tubes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
When did he get to us?
February 21st.
February 21st, and you overdosed on January 23rd.
Okay.
So about a month later.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, for the listeners, that's the timeline. That is kind of what took place. So long story short, you know, we were in communication well before this happened. But the importance is, and the reason that I bring this up is because there was a plan put in place. And Tristan, honest to God, and I know you know this, but I mean, it was, you almost died, you know, and that's the crazy thing is that, like, you know, when Ben and I talk about, you know, plans and, you know, what is somebody going to do in terms of after treatment, whether it's with us or anybody else, you know, those are really crucial months because here you are, you come out of SOBA and you go right back to your people, places, and things, the things that you knew well. And I mean, you just said it wasn't but 3 weeks you started using again.
Yeah.
So, I think we're at the point in the podcast where, I mean, I don't know that we need to go into a lot of your backstory. Yeah. Obviously, a drug addict, but you were big into sports, right?
Yeah, huge.
Tell us a little bit about your upbringing, you know, just the elevator version.
Yeah, so born and raised in New Jersey. You know, I grew up pretty loud household, you know. My parents fight, like not like bad fighting, but like a lot of screaming matches, you know, and it's all like, you know, my pops was a very hard-nosed Italian guy, you know. You know, I grew up Jehovah's Witness too. So like a very traditional family, you know, didn't celebrate any holidays. I mean, like I always like I felt like didn't fit in a lot of times, you know, because like all my friends were Christian, even if they weren't too religious, you know, like they all like clicked different than I did, I felt like. And so I played sports growing up, football, basketball, lacrosse. And you know, that gave me like a sense of acceptance with like people, friends, and like, you know, I thrived in that environment too. You know, I started playing football and basketball when I was really young, you know, and I picked up lacrosse, and it was like, that was like the only thing that like made me feel like good, honestly. And like, as
sports in general?
Yeah, like sports. And then like I got older and like, I didn't really like them anymore. And probably because I was getting high, you know, but like also I felt like I was kind of like pressured into it, you know. But like I'm grateful for it now, you know. It taught me a lot of things, you know. So.
When did you get introduced to drugs for the first time?
I would say, so I had my first drink when I was 13 or 14, and then I like smoked my first joint when I was 15, when I got a freshman in high school, you know. And then started popping pills like a month after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that didn't take long.
Yeah, and it was like not even like I wanted to do it. It was kind of just like presented to me.
Right.
You know, like the people I was hanging out with. You know, it's like not no accident that it happened. You know, like the pills is what really kind of got me like hooked on just getting high. You know, it took me down a whole different path. Like this is what I want to do all day, every day.
What's your drug of choice?
I say everything, but like mainly if I could pick, it would be like Xanax or like anything like downers. Like recently I was doing fentanyl, you know, that's what got me. So yeah.
So what landed you in the hospital, if I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, was pressed Xanax?
Well, I was mixing Xanax with like fentanyl pills.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
Yeah,
So you knew what you were doing. I mean,
yeah.
It wasn't an accidental. Well, I mean, it was an accidental overdose, but it's not like you were taking a benzo thinking that it was a straight benzo. Here it was laced with fentanyl. You knew you were taking benzos and fentanyl.
Yeah, well, I had a like separate Xanax from like these pressed Percocets that I knew were like had fentanyl in them, and like I was doing those before, like I overdosed. So I knew but like I knew how much to do, and you know, like,
right.
I would do them in school, and then like if I felt something, I would have to go throw up in the bathroom. You know, like I knew like my limit with them. You know, so
in theory.
Yeah,
Wait, what do you mean? If you felt something, you have to go throw up?
Like I would like on break, I would go to my car and like, you know, chop one up, you know, and then I would go back to class, and like my stomach like started feeling weird. You know, I'd run to the bathroom real quick and like throw up, and
because you think you're going to overdose?
Well, no, I just had to throw up. You know,
oh, okay,
like which is technically an overdose, right?
I mean, I suppose
it's the nauseousness that comes with doing opiates.
Yeah. So
all right, well, so you're a drug addict. I mean, you know, that's, no denying that. And this overdose happens, and you know, you end up down here in Florida. So let's bypass all the war stories because we all have them. What was it that, you know, when you entered? So was your only treatment experiences RCA and SOBA? I don't like that name, by the way.
Yeah, no,
SOBA.
Yeah,
Is that like a Boston thing?
It's Megan and what's the other girl's name? Ariel. That's how. But I mean, when she's from Boston, so when she tries to say sober, she says SOBA.
It's funny.
Which whatever, that's fine. You say it that way, but like. Anyways,
I don't know why they named it that, but yeah, it was RCA, then this place called Freedom House, which is like an IOP.
That's right.
And then back to RCA, and then SOBA, and then Intrepid, and then here.
Okay, so looking back on it now, hindsight's always 2020. You had RCA Freedom House, RCA SOBA.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you get it then?
Maybe I just didn't believe. Well, not maybe. I know, like I didn't believe that I was truly like an alcoholic or addict. You know, I was in denial. I couldn't accept the fact that I couldn't get high anymore, you know, and like I would BS my way to like getting all this like all this good talk like in meetings. Like I would like share and sound so good, but I wasn't doing anything I was sharing about. You know, it was just like maybe I wanted the girl to like me or something in the treatment center. You know, it was all fabricated. You know, and like nothing of my life had substance. Nothing was real. It was all just like a like drawn picture. You know, it was all fake, and you know, like didn't believe in a program. Didn't believe in like a spiritual awakening. Like nothing. I didn't think I was like worthy enough for that. Like I didn't. You know.
Did you know what it meant?
I didn't know what it. I had my own conception of it. Like I thought it was like like this big like. I'm sure like this is a common thing, like this white light experience, you know?
Right, like the burning bush.
Yeah, all that. And like I just didn't think I was worthy, or like it would never happen to me, you know? And like today I see like a spiritual awakening is like just a change in my behaviors, you know, and like a change in my thought patterns. And like the fact that I'm still sober today is like through that spiritual awakening is an awakening itself, you know? And like I want to help people today, like people helped me. And like before I wouldn't waste money on a lift to go read with a guy, but like now it's like no second thought, you know?
So like, I want to touch on something because we're kind of jumping to where he's at today, like with all his thought process. But I think it's important to show the progression through Tristan's story of even when he got to rock, dude, you did not want to be here. And everything that you mentioned of previous treatments, from my perception, was literally the same. Like, dude, I'll just call it what it is. It's hard to put a timeline on it, but for at least the first couple months, dude, you were like a lump on a log here doing nothing.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't say that long. Because you weren't, you were here for,
but
yeah, maybe.
I like keeping it real.
Yeah, no,
maybe timeline I'm a little bit off, but we were having discussions about you, like, we don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
Because,
sorry, Mom, you're hearing this.
Well, no, it's a happy ending.
No,
dude.
I know.
It's a happy ending.
I
It's
know.
the reality of it.
I know.
But this is the treatment process and the continuum of care, and we're going to get to the miracle here. So, but we were having meetings, our clinical meeting that we have every Monday, and when your name came up, we're like, dude, his willingness is just not there. He's not taking action. He's not participating in groups. He's isolating. When it came IOP time, he's like, he doesn't want to find a job, doesn't. So I don't want it to paint this picture for your story like he came here willing, because I don't want people to think like, oh, he chose to go to rock, so all of a sudden he was super willing to be here. It was a process.
I did not want to come here at all. I heard it was like when I heard rock recovery, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be like the workout stuff. I was like, I do not want to be here at all. I got here, like all these positive people coming up to me, I'm like, yo, stay away from me, bro. Like, please. And like, I hated everything. I was super depressing, to be around Ben Harrison, shout out Ben. I'm allowed to do that.
Ben Harrison's one of our group facilitators.
He was on the podcast. We're actually talking about when he's coming back on.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's coming on in, hopefully a couple of weeks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he, I think he helped save my life too, because he told me how it is, like you guys are doing now. Like I was, like there was not much hope for like the way I was acting, and it was it's very negative, and like I couldn't see life for what it was. It's like it's a miracle, like where I'm at right now,
So when you end up going, obviously recover from the overdose, which I mean you're still recovering to it to this day, but you were able to leave the hospital and go to Intrepid. Do you remember like what that process was like? And I'm not even really sure. Was your mom like, you're going whether you like it or not type deal, or?
Yeah. I could have always left, but there was like some, I didn't want to be there at all.
At Intrepid?
I didn't want to be back in rehab. I didn't want to do anything that was like that she wanted me to do, so it was kind of like that, or I was going to be homeless,
I like what you just said, because I was going to tie that together with, you always have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
But your choices were homeless or attend treatment.
Yeah.
And I want to throw it out there. The reason that was the two choices is because it sounds like Mom started to hold some boundaries, and become healthy herself in this process.
Yeah.
With like, hey, if you're not doing treatment, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Which a lot of parents and loved ones struggle with that. They're like, oh my God, something might happen. But the reality of the situation, let's call it what it is. Like, after all the steps that were taken, previous treatment centers, you still overdosed. Mm-hmm. And I think I don't want to assume, but I'm kind of guessing that maybe that was, I'm sure it wasn't enjoyable, but probably a good thing for Mom to show her like, okay, I'm powerless of the result of what could happen.
Yeah.
Let me hold to, it doesn't matter whether I provide him with the cell phone or a roof over his head, or if I do, Tristan could still overdose.
Yeah.
So that's like time when you start taking somebody else's plan, like a professional plan, someone with experience, and following it in that manner. Because when it comes down to two options, homeless or go to this treatment center, well, I tell you which one sounds better to me.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember having the conversations with Mom, and she was at a place of helplessness too. She didn't know anymore what to do, how to navigate the situation. And she was able to let go, and just like we want our clients to do, stop trying to dictate your clinical treatment. Stop trying to act like you know what's best for you, because you're sitting here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And your mom was at that point where in the text message even says, like, I don't know what to do, you know, and there's no shame in that. You know, that's what we're here for, is to kind of help you navigate this. And
she admitted her experience helped her admit step one. She admitted she was powerless.
yeah.
It goes for the client, the recovering person, and it also goes for family. When you finally admit you're powerless, that's a beginning.
Yeah, and thank God for that, because who knows what would have happened if I went back home, you know, or didn't come down here, you know. Thank God for that.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. I mean, and so we'll get back to your treatment. When did you, like? Well, and we just covered. Ben said, you know, you weren't too into it for the first couple of months. When did that kind of switch happen? Do you remember? Was it a distinct instance or conversation or what?
Yeah. So one day, you know, Nicole, my therapist, I can put names out there. Yeah. So she called me up to her office. I'm like, I didn't have a one-on-one this day, and like, I get in there and Ben Harrison's sitting there. You know?
You're in trouble.
You know, and like, I don't even really remember like what was said, but I just remember like the nature of the conversation being like, yo, you're screwed. Like, there's like we're worried for you, you know? And I didn't even think I was raising that many red flags. Like, it's amazing that they saw that, you know? Like, I guess it was pretty obvious, but
no, there was a lot of red flags.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good point though too.
Yeah.
He can't see the red flags, and to us, they're glaring. And like, when you think about it, I like to point it out that, you know, Ben Harrison, the thing that people love about him, they hate him at first because he calls them out on stuff. But the reality of the situation is we can't see our own BS, and we need that to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I need somebody to say, dude, you're messing up. Because here, you didn't even see it yourself.
Yeah. And like, the cool thing about that too was like, I don't take a lot of things seriously. Like, even if someone's telling me like, yo, you're gonna die, you know, like, I'll like laugh at them or something. And like, I don't know, the way Ben presented it to me, and like it was just so raw and like real, and like I was in that present moment for like the first time in a while. I felt like I was in a moment, and like I feel like something actually hit me, you know. And like, not to mention like going through the work with my sponsor too. Like, after doing my 4th step, I had a dream of like, this is like just my like experience with it, but like I had a dream of like my overdose through my mother's eyes, which was like,
whoa,
yeah, that was crazy, you know. And I don't dream right now, like, because it's brain damage thing, and like I remembered it vividly. Like, it was crazy.
Maybe that's part of the spiritual experience.
I'm glad you touched on that too. You're saying brain damage from the overdose.
Yeah.
What you want to give a little bit on that?
Yeah. On the brain damage or the overdose?
But both. How they're tied in. Did it affect your treatment maybe?
Yeah.
Cognitively speaking?
Yeah. Yeah, so I overdosed, you know, I was dead. I took a bunch of fake pills and real pills together, and it just, the concoction killed me. You know, I was dead for like 20 minutes, something like that. I think that's what my mom said. And, you know, my mom woke up out of the middle of the night, you know, something felt wrong. She woke up and found me. Apparently my legs were like up on the bed or the couch or something, and you know, I aspirated, and yeah, so I got picked up by the ambulance, you know, at my house, and then drove to the hospital, and then airlifted to another hospital. You know, she pretty much mourned my death, you know, like, and yeah, so then, you know, from that I acquired brain damage, and it's been like hard, but like at the same time it's been easy, because like the first 3 months, like I don't even really like, they went so fast, you know. And like before I knew it, I was like, oh, I'm in ILP 3, like, all right, cool, you know.
Like, I forgot I was in treatment all this time.
Yeah, but no, I made it still like kind of there, you know. But instead of like I've always, since I've had it, you know, I've been dreading it. Like, I've been feeling sorry for myself, you know. But like, actually, like 2 weeks ago, like I started doing something about it, like reading and writing things down, and like actually doing something about this brain damage, not like feeling sorry for myself, you know. But like, it's also been hard too, like in groups, you know, like we'll have like a topic, and like they'll come to me to speak, and I'll be like, what's the topic? Like, and I'll be listening the whole time, you know, like to the best of my ability, but then they'll get to me and I'll be like, I don't even remember. And it's like that short-term loss, but it gets better every day.
So it's a memory thing?
Yeah, it's memory. Okay. And like also just like kind of my, what's it called? Common sense too. It's kind of off, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, to somebody that doesn't know you, they would never know.
Yeah,
you know
not
at
all.
I mean, but that. You know, to be honest with you though, like if you meet my dad had a stroke just over a year ago, and anybody can have a conversation with you or with him, and he'll have a full blown conversation for an hour, and then 5 minutes after the conversation's over, you ask him what we just talked about, no clue. He's like, you know, it's kind of I use it to my advantage. This is kind of, I'm just gonna say it because it's funny. But he's like, hey, I want to watch something on TV. I'm like, all right, what do you want to watch? Oh, I want to watch, you know, something about scuba diving. So I'll put something on scuba diving, you know, and then, you know, that'll be over. And then 5-10 minutes later, hey, I want to watch something. What do you want to watch? I don't know. What do I like to watch? Yeah, you like stuff on scuba diving. You want to watch something on scuba diving? Yeah, that sounds good, Tom. I'll put the same show back on. And it's like, anyways, it's, and then I'll tell him, I'm like, you know, you just watch the same show 5 times over, and he'll laugh about it. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. My mom was telling me like I was asking her the same 3 questions, like, over and over again for like the week I was in the hospital, like over and over again, till I got off the plane.
Here's the thing, though. He said something a second ago, and this to me equates to taking action. You said you started doing something about it 2 weeks ago. You started writing things down.
Yeah.
And, I mean, dude, if I had to sum things up, like from what I've seen, you started taking action. And Tom asked you earlier, like, kind of like what changed, when did that change? And you talked about the 4-step and all that stuff, and the dream and whatnot. But I want to hear a little bit too about like your experience with sponsorship, because I felt
hang on, I go ahead, finish.
I felt like that came out of nowhere too, like because dude, you were like off on your own little island, and then all of a sudden I felt like just one day magically you had this little tribe, like you had a group you belonged to. I was like, when the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
Like, and dude, for me that's always a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
Like what was that experience like for you?
Hang on a second, and I want to know about that too. But I feel like I want you to finish because we jumped around a lot. I want you to go back to the conversation that you were having with Ben Harrison and Nicole.
Oh, yeah.
And you were having and that's where things really started to set in. So let's kind of walk through that, and then we're going to get to the sponsorship stuff from, you know, through that journey.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, I don't remember like a lot of what was said. I just remember like the nature of the conversation being like reality hit me, like, because he was saying like, yo, you're screwed, like we're worried about you, and like Ben Harrison doesn't come in on his day off, you know, like to sit down in the office. That was his day off, right? Yeah. And you know, like that showed something, and like I don't know honestly what it was. Maybe it was the fact that he came in on his day off and like truly showed like
yeah,
and like he sitting in his groups too, like knowing like the knowledge this guy has and like the experience he has, like he came in to like tell me like, yo, you're screwed, like we're worried about you, you know, like that raised like a flag for me, not necessarily a red flag, but it was just like woke something up.
It's kind of like an aha moment, for you.
Yeah, exactly. And like, not to mention like before that too, like I remember hearing you guys like seeing how you guys do things, like everyone in rock and like Brennan, you know, like all these people, like Chris, all these people I could look up to, like sharing in meetings, you know, and like I wanted what they wanted, you know, they were positive, they had like a good message, you know, like one day I want to have kids, I want my kids to be able to look up to me and like learn from me, you know, and like I hear them sharing in meetings, so I started sharing in meetings, you know, but my shares were very negative, you know, like I don't trust this program, like I don't want to be here, you know, but like
you would share that in meetings?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, you know, and I didn't want to like lie, you know, and I was real tired of lying, you know, it was very tiring.
I like that.
Sure.
Being authentic and being truthful. If you don't want to be somewhere, speak up about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't come here and be like, I never want to get high again, when really you plan on getting high.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't do anybody any good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that gave me so much more, you know, because I was lying my whole life, you know, and like I didn't have to remember these lies this time. Like I was like, yeah, I don't want to be here. You know, like you guys with this positive attitude, you guys would piss me off, honestly. But I'm so grateful for it, you know.
I remember when I was running a group out at remember the pickleball courts?
Yeah.
And this was one of the first times, and I don't remember when this was in your treatment journey, but it was one of the first times that in at least a group that I was running that I sensed like true gratitude from you. Mm-hmm. And you were talking something in context of your sponsor, and maybe we can now transition into this. Mm-hmm. You didn't have any objective behind what you were saying. Mm-hmm. I think it was just you were having such a good day and a good week, I feel like, that you just wanted to verbalize it. Yeah. You know, normally in a group type setting, there's a topic and then people start kind of going back and forth on this topic, so on and so forth. And here comes Tristan out of left field, just like, I just want to say, like, things are changing for me. I'm starting to feel gratitude towards everything, and I'm starting to recognize, you know, the last couple of months or few weeks or whatever the case was, that I wasn't putting in much effort. Now I see and understand why, you know, things are the way that they are. It was something along those lines, and I'm standing there, I'm like, damn, like this. And that's when I kind of knew, like, this is that psychological change that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And like Ben and I tell parents and loved ones all the time, or people even when they're coming in, I can care less if you come in here, you know, hooting and hollering, ready for, like, yes, I'm ready for treatment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, like, most people don't come in that way. Mm-hmm. Most people come in head down, somber. I don't want to be here. This place sucks. I've done this before. You can't tell me anything I don't already know, so on and so forth. We can work with that. Mm-hmm. You know, the way that you presented it's par for the course.
Yeah, that's what I always heard from like you guys or Ben Harrison. Like, we can work with that. You
know?
And like Nicole always said that, like, meet you where you're at. Mm-hmm. You know, and like that, I love that. You know. Yeah,
and the thing that and like Ben always says, people that get straight A's in treatment, those are the ones that we're worried about the most. Mm-hmm. And something that you said that I picked up on just a few minutes ago, when Ben and Nicole had you in their office and they're like, we're worried about you. And you're like, well, I didn't even, and you just said to us, I didn't even think I was doing anything wrong. You probably weren't. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the problem is that not that you were doing anything wrong or right. You were just kind of flying under the radar, you know? So you generally have three types of people when it comes to treatment. You have the treatment go-getters. They'll do anything that you ask of them. They're going to be the first ones on the van. They're going to have all their assignments done. They're going to participate in every group, and they're like almost a junior therapist in a way.
That definitely wasn't me. That was the last one.
Then you have the people that they want nothing to do with treatment. They don't want anything to do with the groups. They're the last ones on the van. You know, they never clean, so on and so forth. And then you have the people in the middle that they're here. They're not, you know, they're kind of, they could go either way, you know? And I would say you were more that middle person. Mm-hmm. It's not that you were totally anti-treatment, and you might have been in your head, but you also weren't like the, you know, like the junior therapist. Yeah. You just kind of flew under the radar. And from a therapist perspective and a treatment team perspective, there's red flags there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, we're not looking for, you know, actual, you know, instances where you screwed up. It's just you weren't really doing anything. You weren't progressing and you weren't going backwards. So for us, we always use this, you know, caution, you know, err on the side of caution. Hey, Tristan, you're not really doing a whole lot. And if you don't do a whole lot, or if you do nothing, you're ultimately going to go backwards. Yeah. So I don't know if that.
You know what the crazy thing is? I thought like nobody noticed, you know?
Yeah, well, it's very easy to pick up on all three of those. And trust me, we have staffing every Monday, you know, so we we know who are the overachievers and that has it all figured out. They have issues of their own. Yeah. We have conversations around clients that are like, we want these people to get pissed off. Yeah. We want something bad to happen.
Come on, show me some emotion,
And then the people in the middle, we know who those are. Yeah. Tristan, he's not doing anything bad. He's not really doing much in terms of clinical. He's just kind of here. He's a body. He's here. He's whatever. And then obviously the ones that, so everybody's in those camps, and we have to be able to navigate all of them.
Yeah, that's why we only have like a few rules that are obvious rules that are needed for safety and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the rest of it's kind of guidelines. Because the fact of the matter is like you can't treat everybody the same.
No,
you really can't. And I laugh when a client comes to me and goes, "Well, so and so gets to do this and X, Y, Z, and why don't I?" And they're comparing like, what's the rule? I'm like, there's no
whatever
rules.
We want it to be.
Yeah, we make up the rules as we go. Deal with it. That's life.
Yeah, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. I mean, that's really our mentality. And a good example of that is like, when people are here on PHP, and that's like our kind of quote unquote inpatient version, which is comparing apples to oranges. If you've been to any other PHP program, we don't take your cell phone from you. We don't follow you around with a clipboard 24/7. But some people that are on PHP have more leniences than other people that are on PHP.
They do, yeah.
And it's not because we like them more than the other person. It's because they're more trustworthy or they've done things that has allowed them those freedoms, so on and so forth. And then the person that doesn't have those freedoms is like, I don't understand why, Tristan can go to the gym and do this and do that and I can't. Well, you got a lot to learn.
Yeah,
you're not Tristan.
You're not Tristan. Exactly.
Client basis. Yeah.
Obviously, we had this psychic change starting to take place, and I think for the sake of this conversation, that was probably 4 or 5 months ago now. 4 months ago.
I'd say 4. Yeah, 4 months ago.
What has kind of been transpiring? So let's go over the last 4 months because obviously, you're freaking killing it, and I want to get into that.
Appreciate it.
You got involved with the sponsorship stuff.
Yeah. So, my sponsor would take me to these H&Is, with them.
What's H&I?
Hospitals and institutions.
Where you were a short time before.
Yeah. And he would take me to those, which I love doing. And at first I would just sit in, and like maybe share something, and then
for those that don't know, real quick, H&I hospitals and institutions is like AA or whatever 12-step fellowships brings meetings into places where people can't go to meetings, such as detoxes are locked in. So you bring a meeting in. It's a form of service work.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. So psychic change. Yeah, I guess it's like the action I keep taking on a daily basis. I guess that would really sum it up. Like at first I was doing it like, I'll type a gratitude list like 4 days a week, Like now I try and do it every day. I haven't done it today yet, but I probably will after this. And it's like those daily actions and like those daily things that like keep me waking up to like reality. Like, this is like a good life. Like I could have a good life, and like taking that step back and looking at everything I have. And like my sponsor told me to, just write 10 things you're grateful for every morning, and I thought it was going to be like, oh, I'm grateful for having a refrigerator. I'm grateful for having money in my pocket. But like now my gratitude list is like, I'm grateful to like be able to help people. I'm grateful for this way of living. I'm grateful for God doing for me on a daily basis what I can't do for myself. Like it's like these things that aren't superficial, these things that I can't see or grab, it's like, I'm grateful for waking up sober, like things that I never thought I would be saying. Like that's like the part of the psychic change too. And it's like doing those things that led me to that. And also like when I'm in H&I too, like I have more than the people in there because I'm not in there. That's it. Just because I'm not, like I might not have more money than them, but I'm not in detox or res. So like, all right, here I am carrying the message. Like what did I do to get 4 months sober? What did I do to get 6 months sober? Like, and it might not be the longest time, but like I know for some people, like getting a month sober is like out of reach,
What is your sobriety date?
January 25th.
So you got what, 8 months now?
Coming up on 8 months.
Yeah.
8 months, yeah. Today's the 25th.
Could you imagine the day you stepped into Intrepid having 8 months of sobriety?
Not happily. No.
Yeah.
Maybe
Not
like
happily. Wow.
Yeah.
That's good that you put that on there.
Yeah, so it's like it's all God, man. Like I don't want to talk about God too much, but like, you know, like I'm just like I don't even know if I believe in God, but like the action of stepping outside of myself and praying has like done a lot for me.
And helping other people.
Because
you said you loved the H&I.
I love it, yeah.
What do you love about it?
I guess it's just real easy for me. I don't know. It's like at first, you know, I thought it was like cool to just talk about my war stories, you know, but like it's real easy to just sit there and like talk about the solution now because I'm like living in it, you know, and like I want to do this because like I was just like them. Like I was hopeless. Like I had no faith in anything. I had no want to live, you know, like if I couldn't get high, I don't know if I want to be alive anymore. You know, like that was the reality of my life. And like it's a miracle that I'm sober today. And like I said, like happily, like willingly wanting to keep doing this, you know, and like it's a miracle, but like this program did it for me. Like other men who taught me and showed me the way did it for me. Like I could share that with other people now. And like also that's kind of my duty, you know, like being able to like show up for people and be like, yeah, like this is the solution. This is how I did it, you know? And like, man, that's like when I hit the mattress at night, like I feel so grateful for the day, you know? And like leading up to H&Is or like meetings and stuff or like I don't want to be there until I get there and like start doing stuff, you know? It's crazy. Like I get there and like
it's
I
like
start
the gym.
Yeah.
It's literally the same. I tell my sponsees this. If sponsoring is convenient, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
If I speak truthfully, and I've said this before probably on the podcast, but like, dude, if I got to go meet with a sponsee on a Sunday night at 8:00, I'm like, dang, dude, I could sit here and watch Netflix, hang out with the family, but here I go. Let's get in the pickup and let's go do this. But when I get there,
no other place you'd rather be.
Yep. It's something happens. Yeah. I don't know what that something is. I don't think I need to figure it out either.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing with like my higher power and stuff. Like I don't really have to like I'm not so like pressed on the label, you know? I'm more pressed on what it does for me. Like the action of just admitting that I'm not it, you know? Like I'm not God.
Let me ask you this too, because I know your sponsor. You don't have to say his name. But he's young.
Yeah.
He's about your age, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's like 22 or 23.
How old are you?
19.
That's the other crazy part of this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God's truth.
So I wanted to bring this up because I knew both those things.
Yeah.
And to any young people out there or parents or loved ones that are like, oh, my kid's so young. I literally just had one of those calls a couple weeks ago. Or like, my kid's 18. This is just going to be another stop. Mm-hmm. You know, he chose to go to a different treatment center, and they followed up with me. Hey, decided to go to such and such place.
Yeah,
I imagine we'll be in touch in the future because this is probably just another stop. But the reality of the situation is, there's young people getting sober that are happy about it. Mm-hmm. They're grateful for it and carrying the message. Like, is there anything about him that was like, for you being 19, that's attractive about, like, how'd you pick him? What was that like?
Well, it was like another God moment. Like I talked in a group or something. I shared in a group like, yeah, my sponsor's busy. You know, he's like a landscaper. My first sponsor, you know, before Dylan. You know, I shared it in a group or like a house meeting or something. And then like Brennan comes to me or Allie or someone, and they're like, we should put you on Dylan or something, you know, because like the way I was sharing, like, yo, this guy, like, this might be a perfect match, you know, like it's all God. And then like they gave me his number, I called him, and like the next day he showed up, you know.
This ties full circle to what he said earlier. Yeah, you keep saying it's all God, but dude, you took action. You know how we were just talking about 15 minutes ago, like you'd go into meetings and just spit the truth. So like I'm imagining in my head, you're probably like sharing in the meeting, my sponsor sucks. He has no time for me.
Yeah.
But then what comes of that?
a great one.
Yeah,
you know?
dude, like it's the action.
More opportunities, you know? And then like got into work with him, and he's a young guy. You know, he's pretty fucked like me in the head. You know, we listen to the same kind of music. You know, like we'll be going to meetings like bumping some crazy shit. You know, like crazy rap music. You know, like we have fun. You know, he showed me we can have fun too. You know, like it doesn't all have to be boring. You know, and then he started taking me to like Miami to go to H&I's and like all these meetings and the sponsorship family. We go to Wings after. You know, and like he's doing all this stuff for me, and like I see like he's listening to my bullshit, you know, like all the stuff I've done in the past, all the people I've robbed, and like, yo, like it's okay, like I did that too, you know, and like showing me like how to get out of it. And dude, it was, you know, I'm so grateful for it, dude. Like it gave me so much, and like it was cool that he was young too, you know.
Bro, that's the thing. I hope there's some young people listening to that, because everything you just said, if they hear this part, you found your tribe, you're like driving to Miami for H&I's, doing the wing thing, like, dude, there is a life once you put down drugs and alcohol, and it's fun.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's fun. Like he brought me to like CrossFit one day, and like he's like just sitting in the corner, like talking to some girl. I don't know, it's funny. And like he just showed me that like you don't gotta be perfect either. You know, like we're young. You know, we can still have fun. Like he's telling me he's like shooting dice on the weekends. You know, like not gambling or anything, but like just having fun. You know, like being a guy. You know, like you don't have to be like perfect. You know, like he showed me that too. Like you could still have fun. Like we're at the meeting, like at our spot, like our wing night, you know, and like we're all like kind of like fucked in the head, you know, like we're talking about some like weird shit, but like it's cool because like just before that we were like talking about real stuff, you know, and like we're all here doing service, like helping people, and like I see these guys too, like in my sponsorship family, or like even in just like meetings, like, you know, like they do all these things for people, you know, like without any expectation of getting anything back, you know, like they do it out of the goodness of their heart, and like then afterwards they're like the craziest people ever, you know, and like I love that.
Can I touch on something real quick, because I want your take on this as well? Florida is a hot spot for recovery. Yeah. And way earlier in the podcast you mentioned you like showed up to a meeting in Jersey and nobody showed up. Was that a true story or no?
It was in Pennsylvania, right across the border, but like pretty much Jersey. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, like where I was when I was living in New Brunswick, it was pretty good recovery around there actually. But like where I lived at my hometown, like 4 or 5 people in meetings. Like there was one meeting I would go to with like maybe like 15 people, but like that was rare.
Yeah. Do you ever see yourself going back to New Jersey
to live there permanently?
Yeah.
Not New Jersey. I would probably like upgrade to New York if I went back up north.
Upgrade to New York.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that a downgrade?
I think it's a lateral move, honestly. And I think it is actually, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Why don't you stay down here?
You're
gonna be down here.
Foreseeable
dude.
future. I'm
you
down here.
Get yourself a surfboard, man. Grow your hair out. You know, freaking put some flip flops on. You're a Florida boy now.
Talking about surfing like that, I like using analogies. Like I grew up surfing.
Yeah.
Dude, do I want to be some guy that lives on the Great Lakes to surf, or do I want to go to Hawaii? Mm-hmm. And like I look at recovery the same way. It is what it is. There are spots in the U.S. where the recovery is way stronger, the culture, all that, than other places.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I think though, you know, like I would, and I tell this to people: don't make any drastic changes. And I don't say in the first year. I just say don't make any drastic changes right now, you know, and because that whole time thing can be, it could be different for everybody. You know, for myself, I feel like I could make a move, you know, with my family anywhere and my sobriety would be fine, you know, and I don't necessarily need to be in the recovery capital, you know, to maintain my sobriety. I get what you're saying, Ben. It's good for people in the beginning. You know, you're here, you're submerged, you're surrounded, you build a solid network of people that are sober. You know, you get to kick it with them for day on end, you know, and you do get to a point where, you know, I don't necessarily need to be in the recovery capital.
Yeah.
You know, I could go anywhere that I want. And whenever that time is for somebody is really, you know, up to them, and they're the ones that have to decide that. And, so I think kind of your mindset, like you just said, like, I don't know if I'll be here permanently. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be in New York. You could be in friggin' Alaska for all we know. Yeah. I doubt Alaska, but you could if you go to meetings in Eskimos or not Eskimos, igloos. Yeah. What'd you say? Tiki huts?
Yeah, we got tiki huts down here.
We got tiki huts down here. Yeah.
There's actually, the part in the big book that talks about the Eskimo showing up. Mm-hmm. The guy relapsing. What do they say? Antarctic? Or is it Alaska and an Eskimo shows up with a bottle?
I don't know.
Yeah. Remember hearing something
you should know
that. You could be anywhere. Yeah, I should know that.
Eric would probably know that or something.
Eric would know that, yeah.
So we got to wrap this up, but you got a sponsee now.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, it's going great. I'm not going to lie, it's a little hard because I don't have a car. And the memory thing, like, oh, what step did we just do? Or like what did I do with step 5? Like, what did my sponsor do with me? But like, I'll just call him up and be like, yo, what did we do again? And he like understands,
Yeah.
So yeah, the only thing that like really like is hard is just the transportation, but that's going to be figured out in a week. I'm driving back down here with the car. So,
well, you said earlier you don't mind spending money on a Lyft going to meet with the sponsee.
Yeah.
I love that, dude, because I don't want to like get on a tangent about it, but like as the sponsor, Tristan's putting effort into a sponsee. It's not a one-way street.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I love that.
And
go ahead.
I was gonna say like that does so much like more for me. Like I keep telling my sponsee like dude, like don't feel like you're wasting my time if you're not like super into this. Like, dude, this does way more for me than it does for you. And like I'm able to see that like right now. It's crazy.
Well, and that it removes any excuse from your sponsee. He can't say, "Oh, well, I don't," it's not that you guys can't meet up because you're willing to lift to him, so he can't come back and say, "Oh, we don't have the time." It's like, no, that's bullshit because I'll lift you where you at.
And he's been super willing. He's a good guy.
Here's the other thing that I like that I'm picking up on that I heard you say.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like Tristan doesn't operate out of ego.
No.
Because, when he was just talking about if he forgot what he did on a step, he calls his sponsor. Mm-hmm. So I have sponsees that do that with me. They'll literally be doing like a 4th and 5th step with the guy, and they'll be like, they'll call me up randomly and be like, hey, man, I'm with my sponsee. What do I say about this paragraph? And what do we do next? And he'll just put me on speaker, and like I'll walk both of them through it. He's like, oh, that's right.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
Dude, because at the end of the day, like, we
Doesn't
don't
matter.
have to know everything.
Yeah,
we don't. Yeah. And that's, dude, the fact that you do that tells me that you're not doing it out of ego.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tristan, listen, for the sake of time, we do got to wrap this up. It's been an absolute honor to get to watch this whole transformation, and you've obviously made us super proud, and I know you've made your mom very proud. And I want people out there listening to understand and realize we're looking at a 19-year-old young man that just 8 months ago was overdosed, and honestly probably didn't, as we just said in this podcast, didn't really want anything to do with this process. Mm-hmm. Had bought into the lies that this is just going to be who I am, so on and so forth. And in a short 8 months, which I think we can all establish it went super fast. Yeah. Has totally transformed his life and can do absolutely whatever it is that he wants to do at 19. That's the crazy part about all of this, is at 19 years old, So, Ben, any final thoughts?
I'm chomping at the bit for this episode to be edited and done because I'm literally working with the family right now.
It'll be done. It'll be out Sunday.
Tristan's story and what we just covered fits the bill perfect for their situation. Yeah. They're scared to death right now, this family. And it's not exact to your story, but all the principles and guidelines are there.
Yeah. I got a family too. As soon as it's out, I'm sending it to them.
I got a family that's getting this instantly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, Tristan, thanks, man. Thanks
for having me.
Really appreciate you coming on, and I think we could have you come on too again later on down the road, and but we got to get on the basketball court here soon, man.
Of course, dude. Of course. Right. You ready?
I'm ready.
So proud of you.
Get Ben
dude.
out there.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, I don't want to embarrass myself.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you don't want to embarrass us.
Dude, I'm so bad at basketball.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
But you guys have built a great facility here. You know, like anyone listening, like they really care here, you know. You're not like just a what's it called?
Treatment mill.
Yeah, exactly.
Puppy mill.
Yeah. You like they actually care about you, you know, and I really appreciate that. Like you do everything client to client basis. And like, it's really cool.
What people don't realize is how much we get paid in here. In our heart. Like doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to feel great about the rest of my day because you came on and like shared all this.
Dude, thank you. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was great. You guys are great guys, you know.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for this episode of Real Recovery Talk. Thank you for tuning in. In the end, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you could always reach us, Tom at realrecoverytalk.com and Ben at realrecoverytalk.com. And ultimately, we want to help you turn your mess into your message. Right, Ben?
That is correct.
That is it. We will see y'all later.